Hello and welcome to a video where I will be speaking on the bosses in Wuthering Waves, talking about their strengths, weaknesses, and feats. In doing so, we are going to rank all the bosses in the game according to their lore as best as I can. Firstly, I will be ignoring the nightmare variants for the sole purpose of making things easier for me. But if you're interested into how the collective fears and nightmares of everyone changes these echoes and their rankings, then let me know and I'll make a video about the nightmare version of these echoes. We will also be taking into consideration the rankings in-game, that being the classifications of Calamity and Overlord class. Despite the fact Glizzy Rider defeated Rover in a one-on-one does not actually make him higher, not even the highest in the Overlord class. Let's also consider the fact that some of these bosses are, in fact, farmed and given to the Montellis to be used as a hologram in the Averado Bank Vault. We will, of course, start with the weakest. The Lamylumen Myriad. This one likely came as no surprise. Having been farmed and placed in the Montelli Vault, it's not looking good, combined with an enclosed space making it difficult for it to actually cause damage and kill people. This makes it on the lower end already. Manipulating frequencies of ice and created from pain and even deaths of miners, it is by no means a weak echo, just niche and locked off from causing as much damage as the others could. Its attacks are glacial based and its movements are rather slow compared to other enemies on the list. And up next we have the Tempest Mephis. Regarded as the vanguard of the Crownless, it consumes sounds of protection. Unfortunately for it, Tauchi is so good at her job, this motherfucker just hides in a cave all day starving to death. It might be sourced by powerful frequencies and capable of utilizing lightning in high-speed attacks, but it can't exactly leave its tacit field or cause as much destruction as might be expected. It has lightning and speed as its main advantages, but not much else. And up next we have the Mech Abomination. Created by the Court of Savante, it has desires of its own, those to be perfect. However, due to not being perfect, it suffers severely. The Mech Abomination, like the two before it, do have strong arguments for being the weakest. However, the reason why I placed this one slightly higher was because it actually has desires aside from murder. Those desires being innovation and invention, which make it ever so slightly more dangerous, physical strength and lightning, but even slower than the Lamylumen. It has various long-range attacks. Its arsenal therefore is quite vast, at least compared to the others. Up next we have the Feilian Beringal, a giant monkey and protector of the forest. It wasn't considered too much of a threat, and it was enough for Washu Academy to get a tracker onto it to monitor the movements of the monkey. Easy to avoid, the monkey isn't even considered an impending threat, but more like something to navigate. This monkey isn't nearly as dangerous, but due to occupying a large area, larger than the others at least, and having a better element, it is just slightly higher on this list. Paired with aero attacks, fast moves, and strength, we finally have an enemy that has a good trifecta of stats to have, lacking in the elemental category however. And up next is the Thundering Mephis. Similar to the Tempest Mephis, just more powerful, as it is the vanguard of the Threnodian itself, though not nearly as powerful as other aspects of it. Holding pretty much the same frequencies as its cousin, the Tempest Mephis, it is what many would consider to be an upgrade. However, it's hard to place this one, as on one hand theoretically should just be shy of Crownless, but other Tacit Discords here have more cut and dry abilities and powers. It is also canonically farmed, though it is fast, strong with various different attacks that are lightning based, and it is definitely a dangerous opponent. And up next we have the Sentry Construct. Despite its appearance, it truly is an echo, though its original form has become lost to time. Essentially, they performed eugenics on an echo and turned it into the sick-ass robot. It is higher on the list for the virtue of having a blicky, flight, and a shield. Combined with its fast and intelligent attacks with its ice manipulation, make it the first genuinely dangerous Overlord class TD. The Impermanece Heron. The Impermanece Heron did give Gian some trouble while fighting it, however Gian still did defeat it. That said, the very fact it was able to hold its own against Gian in the first place is a feat itself. The Heron is a chaotic entity like many Tacit Discords that resulted in a creature that can lay down havoc flames from the sky itself. The embodiment of fear that many soldiers face against, it has range, speed, and a very powerful element to pair with it. And up next we have the Mourning Aix. Having lost its lover, it became depressed, aggressive, and exceptionally violent. Protecting its nest, its home, it had no desires outside of mourning its loved one. The song it sings is one for its lost lover. Congratulations, Rover. You killed someone who lost their loved one and was trying to understand what death was. I hope you're happy. Able to apply Spectral Frazzle, move at fast pace with ranged attacks, it is truly dangerous. Combined with the amount of havoc it wrought onto the mire as a whole, it earns a higher position. Though up next we have Inferno Rider. The Inferno Rider of course did beat Rover in a 1v1 and nearly killed Rover, marking one of 4 times where Rover could have been EOS'd in-game. However, it was also farmed and framed in the Alvarado Bank Vault. Inferno Rider, however, does have a massive boon to his strength. Inferno Rider is a collective fear of the region, and is a collective corpses of patrollers who fell in it. Still your fears, or else you may end up strengthening your opponent. Additionally, this TD has various different attacks, speeds, strength, and forms, and a lot of heat, make it a devastating opponent to fight against. Up next is another fusion echo, that being the Dragon of Dirge. The Dragon of Dirge, as we know, was essentially fed bad frequencies and manipulated by the Order of the Deep to kill everyone they sent to the island. Being a dragon, it is of course fairly powerful. Having been around in that form for at least a decade, it has racked up its fair share of kills. Immense physical strength, the ability to fly, and of course fiery attacks. The ability to create spikes from the ground. It has various avenues of attack, capable of knocking Rover out. Rover once again might have died if not for Abby saving them. The Dragon of Dirge is one of the few TDs that required multiple people to defeat it instead of just Rover. And then up next we have the Crownless. Naturally, Crownless would be one of the top in terms of Overlord class bosses, fast moves, tactical, and somewhat intelligent, capable of taunting individuals, being a habitat discord, and resistant to their frequencies as a bonus as well. The Crownless is made directly from human frequencies instead of standard chaotic ones, however. He is the harbinger of the Scourge of War, the harbinger of Overthrax. Additionally, Crownless and his frequencies would be the base for the Calamity class we know as Dreamless. Ranged attacks, tornadoes, and a dope spear, he'll run your pockets if you aren't paying attention. Something that might be slightly controversial is Lorelei up next. She is a remnant creature who keeps a massive fog at bay. She's also doing this while having a mental breakdown. To solve this, you basically just slap her around and tell her to lock the fuck in. Jokes aside, despite losing her mind, she can still perform her innate duty. She, alongside the Fallacy of No Rewards and Inferno Rider, technically have multiple stages, capable of manipulating water and singing a song to soothe the frequencies of the clouds, yet the desires of the people seep into them, corrupting her into what we fight now. A slumbering woman corrupted to the desire to cleanse her sanctum of all sin. However, she still has some semblance of intelligence and reason, which arguably makes her more dangerous than many others on the list. Up next, we have the Fallacy of No Return, perhaps the most powerful Overlord class that could genuinely be considered Calamity level. We have the Fallacy of No Rewards. She is the last line of defense, created and powered by stars. This echo has one purpose: halt intruders and protect the core. These stars also serve to power her attacks. However, the only reason why I don't place it higher is because canonically she was defeated by Rover using his Spectro set of abilities and therefore was soloed. To be fair, Rover canonically solos most of these bosses while Spectro, including Bell-borne, Scar, and others. However, the Fallacy of No Rewards here is multi-staged, intelligent, and very aggressive, combining the best traits of all previously encountered bosses to create a boss that at first seems easy, but will go sicko mode and beat your cheeks with a hammer, or summon a train to rail you. Up next, we have the Calamity class rankings. At the bottom of the Calamity class, we have the Bell-borne Geochelone. Unfortunately, the lowest on the list. I doubt many of you even remember its quest. Suffering from only being resistant to Glacio, it is not an inherently devious Tacit Discord. It is still Calamity class, meaning that its potential is very devastating. The greatest feat the Bell-borne has is that it could probably beat Ling Yang in a genuine 1v1. Glacial abilities, it is very slow, but maintains devastating attacks, while its frequencies may align with the Calamity class, and its founding as well. Thanks to people like Jian and Tao Chi, any damage it could cause is mitigated. And up next, we have Scar. Scar is a Calamity class, meaning that he should be a lot stronger than the other Tacit Discords. He was able to get the jump on Rover, and is an intelligent entity. Well, Scar himself isn't that smart. He still has human-level intelligence, which is his greatest feat. Resistant to Havoc and Spectral attacks, this gives him a great advantage as well. This is only including his Satan form and not his human form, however. The Havoc Flames, Giant Sword, fast attacks, and aggression make Scar one of the more formidable bosses in the game. And of course, at no surprise, is Hecate ahead of him. Her home is a domain expansion, and she is created by chaotic frequencies themselves, at a place where they converge. The embodiment of despair and chaos, very potent feelings across the entire world. She was defeated by a coalition of not 3 but 4 individuals. She has fast attacks, Lycoris attacks, and the ability to summon minions to jump you like this is a chapter in JJK. She is a diabolical enemy to fight against, including insane speed and physical strength despite her frame. And of course, we have the Dreamless. She is also one of 4 instances where Rover could have died, and chronologically is the second. Rover would have died to Dreamless had it not been for Abby consuming her EOS attack. She is also capable of human speech and recognizes Overthrax as her mother. The moment she was born, we jumped her with Jian and tried to kill her mother as well. Fast attack, speed, intelligence, and a strong element with a self-destruct, and you have one of the most powerful enemies in the game, and a contender for first place. Though at no surprise, first is going to be Jue, a Sentinel and technically the strongest opponent we faced directly. Jue is a Sentinel, though of course was severely weakened. Jue did still pose an existential threat to Mount Firmament, and by extension, an aspect of time itself, making it a strong contender for first place. It also resonates with Gen C, so that's a bonus as well. This list is more of a generalized ranking. Any of these can be moved up or moved down 1 spot, as they are more of a gradient, where it becomes harder to place the ones in the middle. If I remember to do it, I should be showing on screen the list as well, and color-coded. However, what do you all think? Do you think my placements are fair? Are there any placements that you personally disagree with? If so, leave a comment down below. And I'll see you all in the next video.